Hey, what's up, guys? It's Alejandro out here with our other co-host, Keon.
What's up, y'all? I got this new chain for y'all just for this episode specifically.
In this episode, we talk about whether we think college football will be played and whether it should be played. If you like the video, make sure to drop a like and a comment in the comment section. Appreciate it.
With college football coming up, we're kind of getting between a crossroads. Well, we don't know whether college football is going to continue, and a lot of conferences have taken upon themselves to guide, their futures. And the Ivy League has stated that they're not playing fall sports. The Big Ten came out and said that they're only playing within their conference. And then recently, Texas just said that they're going to try to fill their football games up to 50%. So this is a very relevant topic, and given that we're in college and going to these universities, I thought it'd be cool if we discuss it. Keon, what are your thoughts on the upcoming college football season, and what do you think is going to happen?
Wait, chill. I'm not a college student anymore.
But he graduated. So.
Technically, it still will be
to
be announced.
TBD.
Yeah, but I want to be absolutely clear in my statement with this. There is no way that the college football season will finish this year. I believe they will try to start it. There is no way it will finish. First of all, the NCAA is a horrible organization in terms of organizing things and having everything be together, because there's different conferences, right?
Yeah.
So different conferences have different wants and needs. For example, in California and places like that, especially with state government, they're going to put pressure on them not to play. Whereas in the South, it's a little more conservative. The governors down here tend to want to open things, and they want this revenue more than, say, somewhere in those other areas.
Yeah,
and also
or the North, where it's like colder and they have much more to.
And also, it's gonna show the hypocrisy in college football, where the NCAA has always said, right, every player is an amateur, right?
Yeah.
Amateurism, that's how they don't play players. Everyone gets to play. You could go to a small D1 school or Texas. It doesn't really matter. You're a student athlete, right? But how is that going to work? Are the small D1 schools that don't make any money going to play? Because they're not going to make a single dollar if they don't have people in attendance. They're not going to be on TV, right?
Yeah.
So how are they going to make money? Whereas Texas, we don't really, even though the 50% thing you said is really dumb, even if there's no fans, right, we still have Longhorn Network, and other schools, the Big Ten, they still have TV games, and Ohio State's going to be on TV, what I mean? Alabama, Ole Miss, all those, they're going to be on TV. But what about the smaller teams? So you can't say it's all amateurism and that everyone's under the same umbrella and then cut those schools because they're not going to make money. They're going to lose money with nobody in the stands. Whereas the other schools that make TV revenue, they're going to play. And that's just the logistics. I'm not even taking into account the actual playing of the game, where you have kids all over have already tested positive at various schools across the country. And these are college kids, 18 to 22. It's really hard to confine them into a bubble. Young people are going to make mistakes. They're going to go out. People are going to get COVID. There's no way to stop the spread of so many bodies, of so many young people at so many different locations, especially with the geography and the different governors in different states and the different conferences. It's just too much, where I just don't see a way that college football can finish this season.
Yeah, to your point, I mean, it makes sense, because if you're looking at a college sport, it's not the NBA, it's not the NFL, it's not baseball. You're not making billions of dollars. You're making a large amount of money, but it's a little different. And, likeliness is a little different. There's no players associations.
Right.
Stuff's ran differently. So I just think the risk reward it's there. People are gonna try. We're talking about earlier, universities are going to try to push it forward because Longhorn Network, stuff like that, it will benefit them. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I agree with you. At the end of the day, it's not going to work because, UT said, 50% capacity is 50,000 students.
Right.
We could fit 100,000 students in DKR. So that's 50,000 people, and that's already on a campus that's going to be semi-open, but a campus that's flowing with students that students live in. So if you're let outsiders come into the campus, on campus where our stadium is, outsiders come there, I don't know how that's going to work. The university's not going to be open. Universities are just doing this to ploy for sales and just sell more tickets and big tickets and all that good stuff. instead of like really like paying attention to student athletes and what they need and the community, like students.
And it's putting those young people at risk. The people who are making the real money aren't going to be at risk. They're not going to be at the games.
Yeah.
They're not on the football field. So, it just really shows the power structure in this situation.
So y'all don't think like college football should play football this season?
No.
Like even with no fans?
I just think since it's not like a business in itself and colleges are made for colleges, and then sports are a like addition of colleges. And like I feel like if sports like shut down colleges for like a year, they settle like some eligibility stuff, it'll be all good. But NFL is like contracts, money, like tens, hundreds, millions of dollars.
Exactly.
That's way more important. It's gonna happen no matter what.
You can't maintain amateurism and then have different rules for different people at different schools that make different monies in different states.
Can't you have that?
Because these people aren't being paid, first of all, to do this. And like I said, amateurism means everyone's under the same umbrella. We're all student athletes, but then we're going to treat different. Oh, you guys make money for our school, so you guys are going to play, but you guys...
We're all going back to school next year. It's not like college students aren't going back to the campus next year.
Yeah.
Even these football players are going to have to go to class, take the risk of getting corona.
I mean,
if they want to play football,
like if they want to play only online.
But that's also a topic. Like, should we go back to school? Should there even be classes in person? And also, football
this demographic is like the least like at risk demographic.
But coming out as a school saying we're going to allow 50% capacity at fall football games, and you have like conferences that, as said, no fall sports in entirety, like that's crazy. And I don't know why it's such a big deal that people like have to be at games. Like I get it, like that's the whole point. But like if you're doing COVID and like you want to make games possible, like why have people there?
I mean, that's in 2 months. They can change that. That's not. I don't think that's.
I'm sure it's gonna change.
But I mean, like obviously they just said it right now to like boost sales, and that's like BS, because that's like, they're probably not gonna do refunds, and like a lot of stuff is happening like this, like too, like how are we gonna pay for like a lot of things like in colleges too, like programs? How are they gonna run? Like what funding are they gonna get?
So you think the college football season should happen?
I mean, I don't think it's not too big of a problem in my opinion if they're getting the proper testing, proper treatment. I mean, that's why a lot of these.
That's more money they don't have,
I mean,
because they don't get, those small schools don't get money from like Keon said, from like television networks and primetime games and stuff. But where do they get the funding for testing and like all this?
I mean, we're talking about Texas football. I'm sure Texas football can afford testing.
Texas football is different from like Bowling Green.
But how are you?
I don't care about Bowling Green.
How are you going to make college football is everyone? How are you going to make certain people risk their lives versus a different group of people not risk their lives?
That's exactly what the conferences are doing. They're distancing themselves from the NCAA, as you said. The NCAA is not too responsible, and they're deciding what's best for their conferences and the universities in their conference. Mm-hmm. So if a division like the Big 12 has the money to pay for this testing and feels like they can keep their students safe and they can collaborate with other schools in the conference, and they're going to be able to somewhat like create this bubble within these conferences. Mm-hmm. But if like another division, another conference, I don't even know what Bowling Green's in, but a conference like Bowling Green's conference says, we don't have the money to pay for this testing, so we don't think we're going to be able to keep our students safe, then obviously that conference is going to say, let's not play college football this year, or we might consider another alternative, maybe play it in the spring or something.
So how is that fair to every student athlete?
How's that fair to every student athlete?
Mm-hmm. If some schools are like, well, if we're talking about safety, right? So the NBA has every NBA player that wants to play going to a bubble, right? Yeah. So everyone's under the same set of rules. But right now you're saying that some conferences, which is going to happen for sure, are going to say, we think we're safe, or let's be real, they're going to say our bottom line is too big for us. Like the bottom line outweighs the safety. Some conferences are going to make that decision. Other conferences are going to say, no, the safety outweighs the bottom line, which is like the smaller schools we mentioned. How is that fair to the individual student athlete?
Let me ask you something.
If we're all if every athlete is under the same umbrella of amateurism, how is that fair to every athlete?
Answer this one question. Pretend you weren't like a superstar type of like college football player or a college athlete.
Like Sam
would you want to play
Would I want to play?
Yes.
Obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but what?
But like you're asking.
If your coach asks you, hey, there's a risk that you might get corona, but do you want to go play?
Okay.
You're
But,
gonna go out and
young
play.
kids are like too young to like look at the
But yeah,
cartoon.
exactly.
They're over
And
18.
be-
They can make their own decision.
They're gonna play
These
no
people in the
matter
NBA
what.
are like 20, 25,
Okay.
30.
Okay.
And they have families to take care about. These kids are like like student athletes. They're not thinking about their like family, kids.
Let me make an analogy. Last year in the NBA Finals, Kevin Durant, did he want to play?
Probably.
Did he play?
Yeah.
Was it the best decision for him to play?
No.
Exactly. So
Would he have not regret not
That's
playing?
my point. That's my point. You can't just because somebody wants to do something doesn't mean it's in their best interest. You got to have people that are in charge, people higher up to make these decisions for people who want their best interest. And if you suspend this year, right, and everyone else comes back next year and if everyone gets one extra year of eligibility and we can play the same thing next year, then I think people will be okay waiting a year.
What if they don't? Well, like they cancel their fall season and say we're not giving an extra year to any of these athletes.
Well, that's
also
wrong.
in the spring. All those like baseball players we're not giving them an extra year.
That's also wrong. That needs to be looked into too if that's the case.
So do you think the best option is possibly moving it to the spring, maybe?
Yeah, moving it to the spring, suspend it indefinitely, or if you can't do it, if we can't find vaccines or can't find a way to make it legit where everyone can play, then we might just have to suspend it. And this is unprecedented times. We have to do in uncertain times, we have to do uncertain things. We could just have everyone be eligible for one more year next year.
Yeah.
We have to do something
I mean,
like that.
I don't see it's that big of a deal. You get another year of eligibility, and if you look at it from like a school perspective, you're taking online classes, so it's not even like, you're like in there like residency, like it's a totally different thing. And if you're thinking about like living and like these people are in scholarships, like everything in their scholarship like gives them the opportunity to go to the school and play football. So it's like if like some school like takes away their program and like they don't have any more scholarship programs because like they're like, hey, we're not playing football this year, like why do we have to give kids free education? Then I don't know. I see that as a problem in my opinion.
I think that's why we should play college football. So a lot of schools I even know like big schools like Stanford are cutting like half their programs. So we should be playing the sports so they won't have these budget cuts.
Thank you so much for watching this video from Home Court. If you like the content, please subscribe. Please click that bell for notifications and go check out one of our other videos from Home Court. Once again, thank you so much for watching it and have a good rest of your day.